welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are back with the miners. Sorry about this. Serenia, just the person. I was about to send for you. There's an order I want your help with. It comes from the Gladiators Guild, via the Vice Foreman himself. You recall the time I had you procure obsidian? Well, this time you need to find Wyvern obsidian, which is a good deal rarer. How rare, you ask? Let's just say I've handled the stuff no more than a dozen times in my life. So yes, it'll be a bugger to find, but don't worry, you won't be working alone. It just so happens that one of your guildmates has volunteered for the task. And considering how difficult it's like to be, I've decided to have the two of you work together. Your partner's name is White Golly. He's waiting for you on the far side of the stage. Go over and introduce yourself, and he'll tell you everything you need to know. Run along now. Oh, and good luck. You must be Serenia, the Guildmaster's pet. I've heard much and more about you. They tell me you've got talent. Trouble is, you're an adventurer, and anyone with an ounce of sense knows adventurers can't be trusted. Adalberta's sorely mistaken if she thinks you are any different. Likewise, she's sorely mistaken if she thinks I'm gonna help you find 15 chunks of Wyvern obsidian. I'd sooner fall on my own pickaxe than see you take credit for my hard work. That said, I'm not about to risk getting kicked out of a guild for disobeying a direct order. Luckily, there are other ways to handle this. What do you say to a contest? It's nigh on as good as cooperation, and so long as the client gets what he wants, Adalberta won't have cause to complain, will she? So here's the deal. We mine for Wyvern obsidian separately, and whoever brings back the better haul, that is to say, the purer haul, is the winner. Simple, yes? Now, we both know I've been doing this a lot longer than you, so I won't have it said that I trounced a novice. So to make this more interesting, I'll give you as long as you want, for all the good it'll do. Oh, and you can even go and talk to the client if you like. His name is Rodger, and you'll find him outside the Gladiators Guild. Might be as he can tell you something useful. I'm Rodger. What can I do for you? Got yourself into a contest with White Golly, you say? Woof, I don't envy you, miss. I don't know much about mining myself, but I do know that White Golly is good at his job. You can't be Deep Canyon's son without knowing a thing or two about being a miner. Anyway, I have no idea whose idea this contest of yours was, but if it means I get goods of better quality, you won't hear any complaints from me. Now, you wanted to ask me about Wyvern obsidian, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you what little I know, but remember, I'm a gladiator and not a miner. Saying that, I haven't graced the blood sense for a while. Took a nasty blow to the knee, you see. Rest assured, the fellow that dealt it got far worse. Anyway, I'm all mended and ready to make my return, and I want you to be glorious, something that will be sung by the gods. So I thought a shiny new sword was in order, and there's nothing like a plumed oak macutle to draw a crowd. Why? Because it doesn't have a single piece of metal in it. Macutle don't have as a rule. Aye, not a speck of metal, but if you wield it right, the shards of Wyvern obsidian embedded in the blade will cut armor like a hot knife through butter. But I'm rambling. You wanted to know where to find the stuff, not what I plan to do with it. I vaguely recall a conversation I had with a miner a while back. We were talking about You may... Oh, did I mention that's what you call more than one Makuhuitl? Well, it is, where was I? Ah, yes. We were chatting about Makuhome, and the fellow said that he'd previously dug up Wyvern obsidian around Tal's Respite in eastern Fenelon, and that's all I know. Hope it helps. So, here we are in eastern Fenelon. And Tal's Respite just before the way over to the south shore. You see it on the minimap already, the area border. And here are the gathering spots. There it is. I remember it took me a while to gather this because I just had bad luck with this stuff. What's the matter? Don't tell me you've trouble. No, I don't. Here's the stuff. Oh, managed to scrap together the required amount, did you? Well then, let's see your sorry specimen just for the sake of former... Oh, bugger me. The blackest night. These are some of the purest stuff I've ever seen. How in the heaven else did you find these? You, a mere adventurer. I'm loath to admit it, but your obsidian is superior to mine. Well, it might be as you bested me on quality, but there's more to being a miner than that. You need to be able to give a client what he wants when he wants it. In other words, you need speed. Without it, quality counts for naught. I was by far the faster man, so we call it a draw. But mark my words, I'll best you next time, both on speed and quality. I see to it the obsidian gets to Rodger. In the meantime, why don't you go and tell the guildmaster all about it? I care not what you say. You said we could take as long as I needed. Ah, Serenia, how did you find working with White Gully? What? He challenged you to a contest? As if the task went difficult enough. I'm sorry, Serenia. That was hardly fair of him. He's a born miner. What's that? You beat him? Truly? But he's one of the guild's very best. Well done. Huh? He claims he was faster, did he? Well, speed is important, but White Gully set the rules, and by those rules you won, fair and square. You've come a long way, Serenia. A long way. You make me proud to be your mentor. At the same time, though, I must admit that a miner in me can't help feeling some envy. But it's that which keeps veterans like me on my toes, lights a fire in my belly. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Keep doing what you're doing, Serenia, and I do my damnedest to keep up. Good to see you again, Serenia. You'll be pleased to know that Rodger was deeply impressed with your obsidian you got for him. More so than that, he was impressed that you bested White Gully in the contest. There's no ordinary miner who can outdo the Vice Foreman's own son. Lest you wonder, I knew full well who White Gully's father was when I tried to pair you both up. I also know for a fact that he has his sights on my position. There's some who whisper in my ear that I should expel him from the guild, but I can't help but think that's short-sighted. After all, it's hardly a crime to want to be guildmaster. What's more, White Gully is a tremendously gifted miner, and I'm not in the business of punishing excellence. To be sure, I'm still better overall, but I'm not above admitting there are certain areas in which he is more knowledgeable. I tell you this because you need to speak with him again for your next task. We have received an order for 20 high-quality raw amethysts, you see? And none among us know more about the stones than he does. Now, I realize you didn't exactly get off on the right foot with White Gully, but the two of you are guildmates, and guildmates help one another no matter their differences. Strolling overboard as you please, after humiliating me the other day. You've got some gall, adventurer. I know why you're here. I heard about the order for raw amethysts too. No doubt you're wondering to find them, and you're after my hard-earned knowledge. Well, I gladly share it with you. Why so obliging, you ask? 'Cause the knowledge ain't gonna be worth a damn to you, that's why. You'll find all the raw amethysts you can carry near about Hopeseed Pond, over in the Central Shroud. The problem has to do with the beasties inhabiting the place more than aught else. Lindworms, stropers, sprites. Tell even Jaded Jody made her home there. Even Roban would have trouble taking a stroll through that neck of the woods, let alone a common adventurer playing a miner. I don't expect to see you back here with 20 hairs on your head, much less 20 of them stones. Okay. That is the level 30 something area in the Central Shroud. And here in the southwest, at the corner where it goes to Hawke Manor, you find raw amethyst, peridots, and granite. So let's hammer away. Bit under-equipped, I seem. Yeah, bad luck, huh? All the bad luck. Okay, I found them. Oh, bugger me, you mined these amethysts? And such fine samples, I can't believe you made it past all them nasty creatures. Though might be as it's time I stopped being so surprised. You goddamn adventurers come through more often than I care to admit. Anyway, it's one thing to find the amethysts, but do you even know aught about them, their properties, what they represent? Thought not. Here's a lesson. Amethysts are lightning-expected gemstones prized as embodiments of calmness, decisiveness, and intuition. In coming back with such a large haul of them, it would seem you got all these things. I might have been hasty to pass judgment. The more I see you work, the more I see why the Guildmaster's so fond of you. I never imagined an adventure would give me my toughest competition, and there was a lot better than that, to take every adversary honestly. Seems I have to redouble my efforts if I'm to secure my place as the best in the business. Don't you worry about the precious amethysts you brought. I'll see them safe to the guild stores. I look forward to our next contest, adventurer. That's when I drive the pickaxe home that I am the better miner. Level up! And a next time skip. Have you heard, Serenia? The latest tally is you tied with White Gully as the guild's highest honor. You started as a novice with a rusty pickaxe, now you're one of our stoutest pillars. You truly have come a long way, my friend. I find myself turning to you more often for difficult orders, the bulk of which has been coming from Deep Canyon. As you should well know from past expeditions, these tend to entail going to dangerous locales. I'm loath to put my people in harm's way, but the concern owns us in truth, if not in name. It'll be ill done to refuse their requests, no matter how onerous. But just this once I have a mind to do just that. I can't in good conscience order you to a wild place like Corvus merely for the sake of 20 high-quality pieces of jade. Aye, that's what Deep Canyon is requesting this time, and if I have to send someone, you've rightly proven yourself the best candidate. But you should understand how risky the endeavor. Think long and hard before you do something we both regret. While you're mulling it over though, I should let you know that White Gully wanted a word. You'll find him in the usual place. I take it you heard about the job, and I can tell from the look in your eyes that you're already on board with giving it a go. When you came back with the amethysts that last time, I came to realize something. A true miner must be prepared to risk life and limb for his prize. Mining for jade at no less a place than Haldra's March in Corvus would be the perfect way to put my conviction to the proof. I challenge you to another contest. The first to find 20 high-quality pieces of jade and deliver them to Adalberta is the winner. The superior miner by all objective measures. Okay, then let's go to Corvus. Here in the Central Highlands, we start in Camp Dragonhead and go straight south. And here, keeping to the eastern wall, eastern, barrier of this area, there is the jade. Okay. Back to Adalberta with over 20. I understand White Gully has challenged you yet again. I know the temptation is to seek out victory at whatever cost, but winning isn't everything. You do what's right for you, Serenia. Yeah, and here are your 20 pieces. By the 12, this is the jade. And such fine samples, too. Congratulations are in order, you've won the contest. By default, that is. White Golly never got his 20 pieces, you see. As he went about his work, he lowered his guard and was attacked by a fell fiend. His wounds were such that it was all he could do to run to safety. He's whole of body, if somewhat worse for wear. He's like to be out of action for a while. But that's not the worst of it. More than the wounds you can see, I worry about his state of mind. He saw you as a rival to surpass, and he ended up losing in a contest he himself devised. That kind of disappointment is enough to break most people. Trust me, I know. But I pray that White Golly has the strength to get back to his feet and take up the pickaxe once more. It'll be a shame to lose one so gifted. Let's return to the matter before us, though. I wasn't exaggerating about the quality of this jade. Its purity and strength allows you to see why it's thought of as the embodiment of immortality. Since ancient times, man has chosen to adorn his tools and guard with it. Imbuing yourself with the everlasting is certainly an attractive notion. And no one is more aware of that tradition than White Gully. It's for that very reason I intend to create for him a gift of jade. The stone bears my hope that he will rise again, no matter how often the spinner might see fit to test him and bring him to his knees. I like Adalberta. There we learn Ward of the 12, which extends the ability of these gem abilities down there to higher level crystals, not only shards. Serenia, I was hoping you'd come by. I need your help with something. It concerns White Gully. He recovered from the wounds suffered in Curfers and resumed his mining for the guild. Wonderful news to be sure, but one thing yet troubles me. You see, White Gully has been taking on far more tasks than a single man should. Some attribute this newfound fervor to the sting of losing that ill-conceived jade contest, but I suspect there's more to the tale. I tried to broach the subject with him, but he's as stubborn as an aurochs, insisting it's not but my imagination. But I know there's something, and where I failed, you might succeed. Strange though this may sound, you are the closest thing he has to a friend here. So I beg you, Serenia, speak with White Gully and try to learn what ails him. Do what you can to ease his burden. No doubt Adalberta sent you. She's been on me something fierce since I came back, but it doesn't matter why you're here or at War's request. The simple truth is, I need your help. Okay. I've got a secret that would be sure to bring great shame on my family, but I need to tell someone, and I know that you're an honest sort. Ledgers at the concern have been tampered with, and I'm being credited for work I didn't do. Wasn't keen on believing it, but the culprit is my own father. Ouch. I first suspected something was off when I received my last evaluation. I know better than anyone what I do around here, and I knew I wasn't working that much. I looked over the console's records of its dealings with the guild, and sure as day, I found some right damning evidence. Huh, didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I never wanted it said that I had a leg up in the guild, because I'm the vice foreman's son. If I was to succeed, I wanted it to be by my own hands. Learning that my old man was falsifying my accomplishments was like a punch in the gut. And that's why I've been working so feverishly late. By fulfilling enough orders, I'm hoping to turn my father's lies into truth. But I've taken on more jobs than I have hands to juggle. So like I said, adventurer, I need your help. I'd say I'm swallowing my pride to ask you this, but I've got no pride left. Whatever happens from here on out, I'm a miner first and foremost, and I just want to do my job. Right now, the order's giving me the biggest headache is one for 20 chunks of high-purity electrum ore. You can find the stuff south of Camp Bronze Lake, up over in Upper Lonacea. Please hurry, and thanks. Yeah, that situation must sting for him. Anyway, we are here in Camp Bronze Lake, literally the port point Camp Bronze Lake, and directly south of here are the mining points. Just straight south out of the camp. In this area. Man, great luck. 3 successes in succession. Sounds weird, but to high quality. At 15%. Anyway. Back to White Gully. Have you got the 20 chunks yet? Here they are. I couldn't have mined better over myself. You've done me a great kindness. Gratitude rolls really off my lips, does it? Mayhap that's something that comes natural with time. It was only my pride that held it back before, and as I said, I've not left of that. I have worked harder than ever now to make my fictionalized accomplishments more than just ink on parchment. As of now, I'm a fraud, plain and simple. Not unlike this electrum, really. 'Tis impure stuff, gold mixed up with silver and other metals. Well, what am I saying? That comparison ain't fair to electrum. At least this alloy is worth something. You see, when refined, electrum takes on an opulent whitish hue not seen in other metals, and there's certain things that can't be made without it, so it's prized by crafters. No, if I'm to like myself to any metal, it'd have to be common brass. Stuff's pretty enough to look at when polished, but worth little and less. I had dreams of being special, a one-of-a-kind type of miner everyone respected. But now I just Enough of this brooding. I hate myself as it is, no need to add being a whiny sop to my list of failings. You saved my hide today, Serenia, and I'll find a way to pay the debt, mark my words. Okay. Last one. Serenia, thank the gods you're here. It's White Golly. He's come and filed a complaint against his father to the concern, citing an abuse of power. It has forced Deep Canyon into a difficult position, to say the least, and though the two of us haven't exactly seen eye to eye late, I still owe the man a great debt. I would go to him and offer what aid I could, but he's like to spurn even the attempt. I know full well how much I've already asked of you, but I would be eternally grateful if you lent Deep Canyon aid in my stead. To get started, it might be best to see what possessed his son to inform on his own flesh and blood. He had the Guildmaster's bidding again. Well, I see no reason not to tell you about the situation. You know most everything anyway. My old man was foistering dangerous jobs on the guild, forcing its members to risk life and limb for his own agenda. If that ain't the very definition of abuse, I don't know what is. You yourself were on the receiving end of this, I'm sure you recall. Kin or no, I couldn't stand by watch my guildmates being used like pawns in this game. So I went to the concerned upper management and filed a complaint. He hasn't said a word to me since, but I'd have the guess that he might be willing to speak with you. You've certainly done your fair share for the guild. He's out by the entrance right now, in case you want to hear his side of the story. Okay. Well, let's see what his father has to say. It's been some time, Serenia. You're doubtless here as regards my son's accusation. Well, it's just as he claims. Now, this ain't gonna spare me what's coming, but I had my reason for my actions. Vengeance. I was supposed to become master of a miners' guild. Everyone knew I had the best claim, but Adalberta robbed me of the honor. Me, the man who taught her nigh everything she knows of her trade. She went behind my back and conspired with her predecessor, and then fancy who ended up being chosen to lead. By way of paycheck, ever since I became vice foreman, I've striven to make Adalberta's life harder than trying to mine with a dull pickaxe. All those outrageous demands to make her look incompetent. At the same time, I went about ensuring my son was well placed to take over as guildmaster. And my plan was about to bear fruit too, till you came along and ruined it all by being my son's bedder. By your expression, I take it you were doubtful of the tale. Well, you need only ask your dear guildmaster. She can vouch for everything I said. That doesn't sound like Adalberta. What? Deep Canyon believes I cheated him out of becoming guildmaster? That's not it at all. I never aspired to this position. Gods, I was only an Alamegan refugee, working as hard as I could to get by. I never even dreamed that I could rise as I did. And I suspected even less that it was that self-same dedication to my work that would lead me to being chosen. If I had known that accepting the mantle would tear us apart, Lamenting the past won't avail us. I only know that I wouldn't be where I am without the man. I can't allow this misunderstanding to cost Deep Canyon everything. I simply couldn't bear it. I'm not sure there's aught we still can do, but at this point, but we must try. Listen, White Gully is the one who filed the complaint. If you were to throw your own weight behind some of my concerns, then maybe you could yet do something. Please, Serenia, it would mean so much. Adalberta wants to help my old man? Truth be told, it ain't my wish to see his career destroyed neither. I only wanted to teach him a lesson. To make him know that he can't just use people for his own ends. But now that the concern knows, it's been taken out of my hand. In their eyes, my father's action jeopardized relations with a miners' guild, and nothing could be worse. So they've given him a test. If he's to remain vice foreman, he must prove at the inquest that he still has the confidence of the guild. And they ain't interested in no words, they want hard evidence. That is to say, they're demanding that someone from the guild show him loyalty by going and digging up 3 of the toughest damn chunks of ore there's to find. Dark steel. Problem is, he got no allies in the guild, on account of his own behavior. I certainly don't qualify for the task being his son, and Adalberta can't do it neither, cause she's the bleeding guildmaster, that's just how it works. This leaves you, Serenia. We don't have much time before the inquest begins, so you'll have to hurry. And I wasn't exaggerating before, Darksteel is elusive as all hells, located in the snowy reaches of Kerfers and nowhere else. To actually find the stuff, you first need to use your Truth of a Mountain techniques to locate unspoiled mineral deposits. Then, and gods know why, you'll have to survive a night in the cold for the deposit to reveal themselves. Finally you dig, and you pray. When you have enough chunks of Darksteel ore, take them to Adalberta. I'll make sure she knows what's going on. Okay. So, off to Kerfers. So, with this, be it how it works with a Truth of a Mountain's ability. You activate it, and then we get the spot if one is there, a spot gets marked on the map. And this spot exists only when you have Truth of the Mountains active and are at the right time. This is not the spot we're looking for. But I kept this in for demonstration purposes. Now, these things were out of reach. I believe they took out that you can't see what's behind that. But out of reach still means you need to mine through the stuff, costing you mining attempts without getting anything. So here we found Astral Rock. The dark steel we need appears at 1 AM in the night. Yeah, 1 AM in the night, and I'm just on the way to the area where it is. Right here. Here a bit to the east in that wall it appears. So, well, it's almost 1 now. I skipped a bit of time. And there it is. The unspoiled mineral deposit. You only get 1 deposit per day. Or per time frame, better. There are later deposits that happen twice per day, but Down there is the dark steel ore. 3 dark steel ore, and we only need 3, so 1 gathering attempt is enough for this quest. Also, you don't necessarily need high quality, so that's nice. Gregarious Worm was it? Okay. So, back to Adalberta then. And here we are. White Golly told me all about the situation. Now it feels... Repeating what White Golly told us. And here are 3 dark steel. Incredibly, Serenia, your talents are truly boundless. Hopefully these will suffice to spare Deep Canyon. But let's make haste to the inquest. White Golly is already on his way. Well, did you get a guild member to bring you dark steel ore? Cause make no mistake, Deep Canyon. If you came to this inquest empty-handed, we will end you. Your time with the concern will be just a memory. We have the ore right here, procured by Serenia Shadow Star of the Miners Guild. Be good. She isn't lying. This is dark steel, and some of the finest I've ever seen. Huh, it's no ordinary miner who can find dark steel, let alone stuff that looks this good. Seems your reputation is well earned. That said, we're hardly here to question your ability, though I find myself wondering as to your motives. Why did you bring the ore? I'd know the same. Why stick your neck out for him? He's giving you nothing but trouble. What in the 7 hells are you trying to pull, Adalberta? I don't need anyone's pity, yours least of all. I'm not here to give you my pity. I'm here to clear up a misunderstanding between us. Misunderstanding? Listen to me, Deep Canyon. I never wanted to become Guildmaster. The responsibility was thrust upon me, and there was naught to be done for it. Gods, when my name was being bandied about for a position, my first instinct was to take myself out of consideration. I spoke with a Guildmaster in private, as you say, but it wasn't to connive against you. It was to give up my claim. You expect me to believe that? If I had truly betrayed you back then, would I have bothered to come here? But if that's true, then everything I've done... By the 12 to have taken it this far. You didn't want to admit defeat, Father. Adalberta beat you out of her own merit. You knew this in your heart, but you refused to accept it. In your pride, you convinced yourself that she betrayed you, but by doing so, you only validated why you were passed over for Guildmaster in the first place. Please, Father, let go of the past. Accept that you were beaten as I have with Serenia, and let's start over. You have it in you to do so, Deep Canyon, to begin anew. I know about your love for mining better than anyone. If you would be willing to try again, I promise you the Guild's full cooperation. Full cooperation? Are you sure about this? I would leave the past where it belongs. In the past, the Guilds want only look forward and to continue working with a concern. Serenia was the biggest victim in this whole affair, yet she is willing to give Deep Canyon another chance. She wouldn't have brought the Darksteel or otherwise. That's well and good, but what about you? Can you really forgive everything he's done? I can. Above all else, I miss my old friend and mentor. To get him back, I would forgive much and more. Adalberta. Well, I'm inclined to lay the matter to rest. Any objections to say? If you are satisfied, brother, then so am I. Then it's settled. Vice Foreman Deep Canyon, by the request of a miners' guild, you shall retain your present office as Amaljina and Sons mineral concern. Through hard work, I trust that you will make amends for past transgressions. I'm full glad that's over. Serenia, I would have a word with you in private. I ask you here so I might thank you properly. Had you not been on hand to help, Deep Canyon's career would have ended prematurely and in disgrace. Worse, I might have lost my dear friend forever. I owe you a debt that I'll likely never be able to repay. Ah, but look at you. In no time at all you've grown into a miner who can make the earth yield up even dark steel ore, the rarest of metal. There's nothing for me to teach you. As an adventurer, you like to find yourself in all corners of the realm. But wherever your road takes you, I want you to practice our craft for the good of all. Go well, Serenia, and may your toils never go unrewarded. So we see those twins from the concern later again in the what was it? Quan, the Lost Temple of Quan or something, the dungeon in the hard mode quest. But anyway, this is the miner's quest for A Realm Reborn finished. Next time I start Weaver probably. Until then, I'm Mace and don't get lost.